Welcome to Truthfram, a normal flight. It was a routine day. Two passenger aircraft were cruising at high altitude, carrying families, children, business travelers, people who trusted the sky with their lives. One flight was traveling from Europe, the other from Asia. Different destinations, different crews, same sky. Nothing seemed unusual, until seconds changed everything. ###, the invisible threat. High above the clouds, aircraft rely on air traffic controllers and collision avoidance systems to keep them safely separated. But on this night, those layers of protection began to fail. A single air traffic controller was responsible for managing multiple aircraft. Radar systems were under maintenance. Warning alerts were delayed. Communication was unclear. The margin for error disappeared. ###, the final seconds. Inside the cockpits, alarms suddenly sounded. A computer voice warned both pilots to change altitude. But it gave conflicting instructions. One plane climbed, the other descended. Both crews believed they were doing the right thing. Neither could see the other aircraft through the darkness. At closing speeds of over 800 kilometers per hour, there was no time left. ###, impact in the sky. The collision was violent and instantaneous. Metal tore through metal. The sky filled with debris. One aircraft was split apart midair. The other lost control instantly. There were no survivors. Wreckage rained down across kilometers of land, marking one of the darkest nights in aviation history. ###, aftermath. The world awoke to shock. Entire families were gone. Children on board a school trip never returned home. Investigators searched for answers among twisted metal and flight recorders. What they found was devastating. ###, the investigation. The crash was not caused by weather, not by terrorism, not by mechanical failure alone. It was caused by human error, system design flaws, and a fatal lack of coordination between man and machine. The collision avoidance system worked, but pilots were trained to prioritize human instructions over computer warnings. That contradiction cost hundreds of lives. ###, lessons written in blood. This tragedy changed aviation forever. Pilot training was rewritten. Collision avoidance systems were redesigned. Clear rules were established. When the computer warns, pilots must obey. Air traffic control staffing standards were improved. Redundancies were added. Because in aviation, mistakes are paid for with lives. ###, a silent legacy. Today, millions fly safely each year because of lessons learned from this disaster. But behind every safety regulation is a story of loss. A reminder that even in the sky, where freedom seems endless, human decisions still matter.